You're good.
Okay. We'll call the February 7, 2019 meeting of the Mooresville Redevelopment Commission to order. First item on the agenda are minutes from our January 3rd, 2000, and it should be 19 on the minutes. January 3rd, 2019, so if you'll make that correction for both the executive session and the regular session. You all had an opportunity to review those minutes. Is there a motion?
Motion to accept the minutes from the executive session and the public meeting.
As amended?
Yes.
We have a motion to accept the minutes from the executive session and regular session of January 3rd, 2019 as amended. Is there a second?
Second. Sorry, by all means.
There's a second. Any other changes or discussion?
I will add, Attorney Storrell pointed out that Attorney Pittman has one teeth, not two, so that will also be reflected.
All right, thank you. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention, motion passes. Next item on the agenda is the financial report. I believe you've all had an opportunity to review the financials for the commission. Is there a motion?
Move to approve financials.
There's a motion to approve the financials. Is there a second?
I will second.
There's a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention, motion passes. Next item on the agenda, public comment. Seeing none, we'll go on. Southbridge Crossing, any report?
Yes. Two things. One, we're still actively negotiating the sale of Southbridge Crossing. Hope to have more on that in the foreseeable future. Number two, Showtime Cinema. They have requested to put a hood above their popcorn maker, and they would vent that out to the marquee and put a vent on the bottom of the marquee, all at their expense. But in order to do that to the building, they need essentially the commission's approval, and I believe Attorney Storrell would need to draft some documents, so I'll turn it over to him with that.
Yeah, their lease prohibits them from making alterations to the outside of the building. So in exchange for the commission's consent for them to make those changes, we would ask that, they pay for those and, and indemnify us for any losses, or just can't leave a hole inside the building kind of thing. So if we could get a motion and approval of the project, and we'll draft a work order letter that we would sign and have Showtime sign as well.
And based on my understanding, Chelsea, this would not be visible.
So it's my understanding that it would not be from the front of the building, it would be on the underside beneath part of the marquee. So, yeah, correct. I mean, it's visible because it's going to be a vent, but it should be flush with the underside of the marquee, yes.
Any other questions for Chelsea regarding this issue?
Will this change anything with our negotiations on selling Southbridge?
I don't believe so. And I'll make sure that our broker's aware. Yeah.
You've heard the request. Is there a motion?
I will make that motion.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any additional discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. Gateway projects update. Chelsea?
Bicentennial Park As you know, we've had some ongoing issues with the lights around the flame structure. We've been waiting for gaskets to come in. They have come in. We have a team from Rundell Ernstberger Associates as well as Myers Construction here, and with that, I'll Pat, are you taking this one? Please. Yep. I'm going to defer to Pat Stout with Rundell Ernstberger Associates to talk through where we're at.
So as Chelsea said, my name is Pat Stout. I'm with Redevelopment Mooresville Associates. I was the project manager on Bicentennial Park. So I wanted to kind of outline to you where we currently stand, how we got here, and then what our solution is right now to fix the problem. So as Chelsea said, there were manufacturer provided gaskets, correct gaskets that are internal to the light fixture itself that were replaced by the contractor last Monday, January 28th. After performing a water test by the contractor, it determined that they were sealed with the lens and there was no leaking at the surface of the fixture itself. Later that day, I believe that it was raining a fair amount that day. So later on, the contractor had gone back and noticed that additional water was still coming up from the bottom of the housing of the fixtures themselves. So once we were notified of that, we were in contact with our lighting rep, as well as the light manufacturer themselves. And it came to our attention only this past week that it was identified by the light manufacturer representative that the electrical contractor had drilled 2 additional holes into the bottom of the housing, the light housing itself, for additional conduit, meaning that there were 3 holes that were provided by the manufacturer's supporting housing, and that 2 additional ones were drilled by the contractor. So we were not aware of that only until this past week, and this was back in March of 2018 when this was first identified. So since then, we've been working with accurate information and all the parties that have been involved to try to remedy the situation. That was done so outside of the manufacturer's recommended installation instructions. So due to the additional penetrations, the light manufacturer will void their 5-year warranty on the lighting components themselves. A couple days ago, we had a meeting with everyone, the general contractor, the electrical contractor, the lighting rep, and the electrical engineer. And after a lengthy conversation, the contractor proposes the following solution. They say, we are working with the electrician to get the city a 5-year warranty bond through his insurance provider, his being the electrical contractor's insurance provider. We will also be drying out the fixture bottoms and potting them with an epoxy resin. This will make them watertight for life. So our response to that would be that while it's best and recommended by the design team that the manufacturer provided components be installed per the manufacturer's installation guidelines, that the contractor solution for a 5-year warranty bond means that should their method fail within 5 years, which is also the manufacturer's standard warranty, that the system will be replaced at no cost to the town for the manufacturer's original specifications. If there would happen to be any issues with the contractor sealing solution, it would most likely, in our opinion, occur within the first 5 years anyways, due to freeze-thaw, rain, snow throughout 5 years of seasons. So to summarize, we think that the solution covers the town for the standard warranty period, including a complete reinstallation of the entire system should there be any failures within that 5 years.
I guess I really only have one question, is why did it take nearly a year to identify the real problem?
A year from now till
When it was first installed and damaged, to how many times we've tried to fix it, and now, within the last couple of weeks, the real problem has been identified.
Sure. Well, that's tough for me to answer because I was on the design team and not on site every day. We were brought on to have limited construction inspection or administration at that point. So we're reviewing shop drawings. We're going on site, after our bi-weekly meetings. However, we are specifically looking, intimately at components as they're installed by specialized contractor such as the electrical, when that is in our area of expertise, I will say. So I can't answer why we weren't notified, you know, from March of last year up until a week ago.
Why did whomever was responsible for the installation or trying to fix the problem, why did it take nearly a year? I guess I just don't
Yeah, I
quite
can't answer
understand
that. That's a question for the or an answer for the contractor.
Come on up, please.
I'm Steve Ferguson. I was the project manager for Myers Construction. So the original problem was the gaskets. So until we solved that situation, we had no idea that there was water leaking up from the bottom. And it's a little bit of water leaking up from the bottom. It's not like flooding in. So we think this solution of potting the bottom, which is a two-part epoxy injection, is going to seal that bottom off. And there won't be any more issues going on. The lights are fixed now, they're functioning properly, even with the moisture that's in them now. I mean, they're designed for a damp, moist, just not a submerged environment for a long period of time. So right now, they're fine, and we're gonna start doing that on Monday, so they'll be sealed up. And the electrician stepped up, and he admitted he drilled the holes in there, but the reason he drilled holes in there is because we're running control wires in and out and looping them all together, and that was his best solution for getting that accomplished. Hindsight, I guess they make some kind of Y fitting that we might have been able to use, but it's a kind of a unique installation. Normally these fixtures are done in like a 6-inch slab or just in landscape gravel or whatever. Well, this is in a giant footing holding up that beautiful structure. So we're having to pour 3 feet of concrete and hold up a light fixture at the same time. It was just a unique situation, but probably one in a lifetime deals, but very confident that's the solution. He's stepping up to the 5-year bond, and I would hope you guys would accept that, and we can put this one to bed.
Gentlemen, any questions?
If approved, how long is this gonna take? Because quite frankly, we need a solution.
We'll have if it ever stops raining, we'll have all those epoxy probably next week at some point. We're gonna start tomorrow, but it's just all in the way and everything's underwater. So as weather permits, we'll get them all done. Dwayne's pretty local, he'll come and check them, make sure they're not filling up with water during this process, and we'll get it done here in the next, I'd say completely in the next 2 weeks, weather permitting. And then in the meantime, we'll get with the electrician and working with Runda, we'll get that bond amount and get that in front of you guys for approval. Because I have no idea what the replacement value is. So he's working on that. I told him that we need some sort of a dollar amount.
You're very confident that this is it.
Dwayne's an ex-pool guy, and what they do with lights and pools is the wires, they put them in there, and then they pot them. They call it potting, which is injecting them with that epoxy resin that completely seals it watertight. So right now, after he does that, they're gonna be as good as that gasket that we finally replaced it with, the right one. So that's been the big hubbub, is that the wrong gasket was sent out with that fixture, so no water was getting in, sand was getting in, and now that we got that resolved, it's taken a couple turns, they kept sending us the wrong stuff, so Wayne's on top of it, and hopefully we can get this resolved.
You guys will both work together to make sure that the bond is for the accurate amount that would
Yeah.
actually replace everything, including all labor associated, not just replacement parts.
Correct.
Legal, do we need any documentation other than the bond?
I don't think so.
So with that bond, we can get quotes for the light fixtures, just so you have something physical that you know that you can purchase those with. We'll get all that from.
Other questions? Thank you, gentlemen.
Oh, thank you.
You've heard the suggestion, the proposal. Is there a motion? Move forward with the solution, accept the proposal.
Move forward with the solution as presented.
The motion, is there a second?
Second.
The second, any additional discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Next item, Chelsea.
Bench additions, there have been several requests made for, benches, in Bicentennial Park, so I would like I appreciate the green light from the commission to, research those, talk with the Parks Department, look into what that might look like. Really, we're talking in particular, if you're asking from an aesthetic standpoint, where the decomposed granite is, so south of the building, that kind of triangular area. So,
Where the sign is.
yes, where the concert series sign is, yes.
Questions for Chelsea on that? Is everybody okay with her having those discussions with the Parks Department? Okay. so-
Thank you. Gateway, next phase of State Road 42. NDOT has decided to make that a complete project job. Thanks, Sean. So it is still on schedule to be a December 2020 letting, but a much bigger project than originally anticipated. So that may push some of the public meetings back because they're essentially doing a lot of rework because they weren't planning to redo the entire road. So I do not have any information for the next public meeting. As soon as I do have that information, I'll be sure to share that with everyone.
Okay.
That's it for Gateway.
All right, any questions for Chelsea regarding the gateway? Seeing none, old business. We, as you know, we've been having discussions regarding shell building and established a subcommittee for reviewing RFPs. And Chelsea, would you like to provide some background?
I'm happy to. We received 2 RFPs from Runabout and from Loft. The subcommittee, which was made up of Commissioner Gutzwiller and Commissioner Stoltz, as well as Tony Langley, which admittedly he's been under the weather and for the most part unable to participate, but Tim Bennett with the town and Mike Dellinger with the Economic Development Corporation all participated, as well as myself, and had 2 meetings after the RFPs were submitted. One was really an interview. We asked both firms to come in and had an interview process with each firm. And the second was really more to debrief. So with that, I'll hand it over, I believe, to Commissioner Stoltz to talk about the subcommittee's recommendation.
Both companies put together very informative proposals, but the subcommittee's decision is to move forward with Runabout.
All right, so the subcommittee recommendation is to pursue negotiations with Runabout on the construction of a shell building. And I believe there are some legal requirements such as a public hearing before a decision can be made, and also the ability to have a public review of those documents. So if you want to fill us in on those.
Yes, so the next meeting we'll have a notice published and have a public hearing on the process at the March meeting.
And my understanding, both proposals have to be available for public review, or is that not the case?
I have to look into that and get back to you.
Okay. So if they are available, then they will be available in the town clerk's office.
Correct.
And Chelsea, can we make that information available on the website?
Absolutely.
And also, it's a 10-day notice that we'll have to have the ads in the newspaper.
Yes.
We run one or twice.
Usually just run one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was only once.
Right.
Requirement.
Okay, so the public hearing notice will be published redevelopment. Okay. Any questions on that issue? Under new business, in your packets, the commissioner's packets, there is a letter from the town of Mooresville. I want to acknowledge Councilman Mathis and Warren being here today. As you'll see, with the request regarding the police station, and it says to our partners at the Redevelopment Commission, we appreciate your assistance and partnership in the remodel of the future Mooresville Police Station located at 445 South Indiana Street. We continue to work towards the goal of finishing the building and relocating offices. We ask for your additional support in the amount of $450,000. It's my understanding that those additional funds will allow the town to complete the renovations of the police station. You have the town council's request. Is there any discussion or a motion?
I'll move to approve the request.
We have a motion to approve the request. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. Thank you to the police department and to the town council for the work on this project. Next item on the agenda, legal update.
Chelsea, do you have the bill list?
I do.
Other than that, no other update.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on legal? Seeing none, Chelsea?
So this month, there's been lots of things going on. I spoke at the Mooresville Kiwanis luncheon, talked about TIF and our projects and things we're working on. I did include 5 bills that are being proposed. I think 5, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes. This legislative session, and I will in particular draw your attention to Senate Bill 83. This is offered by Senator Melton. I think this would be fantastic for the town of Mooresville, and I've spent quite a bit of time personally supporting this bill, speaking with legislators, and testified to the Committee on Tax and Fiscal Policy in favor of this bill. So this is tax increment financing, allows redevelopment commissions to use up to 15% of the property tax proceeds allocated to a redevelopment district in a fiscal year for ongoing maintenance and repair of public ways, sewers, central water systems, central sewer systems, roads, sidewalks, and levees that are located within an allocation area and that were funded in whole or in part with tax proceeds allocated to the redevelopment district. So, funded by or in part by the Redevelopment Commission, $10. So, obviously, I think that's something that we could definitely benefit from in Mooresville. So, very supportive of that. Thank you to Senator Bray for supporting that. It's already made its way through the Senate. It is now over in the House. So, and also working with representatives to get the support we need to see this bill through. So, talk to your representatives and make sure they know this matters. It's absolutely matters. Happy to answer any other questions that you may have.
And in addition to the legislation that Chelsea highlighted, her report is the last page of your packet.
Yes, this.
Any questions for Chelsea? Seeing none. Review of claims. We have claims before us this evening in the amount of $506,129.01. I believe you all have had an opportunity to review those claims. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion that we approve the claims, please.
There's a motion to approve the claims. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second to approve the claims in the amount of $506,129.01. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention, motion passes. For the good of the order,
I do have one small thing.
yes, sir.
Being the freshman on this commission, can somebody bring me up to speed why public comment is up at the front? I see both sides of the argument, I've seen it before, but was this something that was discussed, or?
I'd be more happy to go through my recollection and I'll invite the other commissioners to correct me where I'm wrong. The issue of where to place public comment was discussed, and we discussed putting it at the beginning of the meeting or at the end of the meeting. And I don't know that there were strong feelings either way from the commission, but members of the public who we talked to asked that it be put at the beginning of the session, so that if there were items on the agenda that would be voted on by the commission, that they could comment and make their feelings known prior to the vote, instead at the end of the meeting where the votes from the commission would already have been taken. And that was the rationale for putting it there. I know from my perspective, it really doesn't make any difference from my personal perspective, but that was where, and the rationale why we put it there.
Fair enough. Yeah, like I said, I appreciate that and see both sides of the argument. Keeping it at the front, how hard would it be to post the agenda online prior to the meeting, subject to change?
I just circulate the agenda to the clerk treasurer's office and I can ask that they upload that. Absolutely, that's no problem. They have the information ahead of time, so.
I think that would help with our
Yeah.
getting information to the public a little bit better.
Well, because it is posted on the doors, right, Chelsea? Or what?
They don't post the agendas anymore on the doors.
Okay.
I don't know
Yeah,
if that's stopped, but.
I think putting it on the website is a fine idea. I just assumed it was still being posted, so, okay. So Chelsea will work on that.
Thank you so much.
Anything else for the good of the order? Seeing nothing, our next meeting date is scheduled for March 7th, 2019, same location, same time. If there is a need for an executive session, that will be advertised and you will be notified when it's needed. So if there is nothing else, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned. Thank you.